Hey guys, how's it going today? Welcome back to the channel. Again, something a little bit different. I am working on a bunkhouse for a family member. They turned this garage into what we're calling a bunkhouse. We've got a couple of rooms, big closets, going to have a built-in bathroom. It's kind of a makeshift for out in the woods. Now, they decided to OSB everything, make it really tight on the sound. It's a little echoey right this second until you get furniture in here and stuff. You can maybe see over there I got the flooring, and of course I got a chair to rest my back. I actually tried just using a brush to start. Was just going to roll this whole thing. It's OSB. OSB just is horrible. Borrowed a friend's Graco. I can't remember which one, X5 I believe. Issue is, actually when I picked it up, it smelled like mineral spirits. He thinks the last guy he let borrow it probably used that to use an oil base and went to clean it out that way. From what I know and everything I've read on these Gracos, a lot of these pumps, the seals, there are some rubber style seals in there. They can do oil-based paints, but you end up with the problem of it messes with the pump if you leave a acetone, mineral spirits, paint thinner in that machine when you just let it rest. Graco actually has a bottle supposed to come in with this pump preserve. It's stuff that you're to pump through after everything's clean and before you store it. And those have the properties that Graco wants you to use to keep the pump saved for storage. And I splurged for, this is the Magnum X7 by Graco, because I wanted to be able to utilize 5-gallon bucket. It's on wheels, a lot easier to carry around and mess with than the one my friend have. I believe it's the X5. And it was so small and you had to mess around, and it was kind of heavy to carry around and stuff. This one I can wheel all over the place, and it nicely, I can put the 5-gallon bucket underneath of it. So this is kind of an unboxing for the Graco X7 Magnum, and then you'll get to see my expertise at trying to paint with the thing. Now, I was a paint sprayer for years and years for the cabinet company, but I've probably lost a lot of my nice qualities of painting, so please be gentle with your comments about how much of an idiot I might look when I'm spraying. I don't do this for a living anymore. I haven't in 5+ years. So training wheels will be back on to a certain degree as I try to spray this, because we're spraying this OSB so I can get some actual decent coverage. All my friends even said if it's OSB, use a paint sprayer if you can. Even a cheap Wagner would be better than trying to roll OSB and trying to get all the nooks and crannies filled. But we'll see. I'm priming today, and then we'll come back and have to do a top coat. I'm hoping it's just going to be a 2-coat process. I'm also worried I'm going to have to spray this and possibly roll it as well, because to try to get all those voids filled on OSB. OSB just stinks, and it's hard to make. I have a problem of wanting to make it look as good as drywall. I know I'll never get that, never be that nice looking, but that's my problem, is I'm probably going to waste so much time on trying to make this look as good as drywall to a certain degree. So let's go ahead and let's pop this box open and see what this baby looks like. And I'll apologize, I don't have my camera lens. I forgot a lot of stuff. Somebody's borrowing my tripod right now, so that camera is actually just sitting on a ladder, a step stool. So Graco gives you, there's some quick guides to get it going fast for the prime, everything. They have a nice little, and this is a seal, not paper, so that way it would be, you could get paint and stuff on that. So that would be really handy. I can keep that with the pump. We'll probably put a little a hole in it and zip tie that thing to the pump, so that way it's always there. It's kind of, you don't want to lose instructions. What do you do with all your instructions for stuff? Put it in the instruction drawer at home, and then you don't have it when you need it. So that's a tip I like to do, is put a paper punch hole, or just use your pocket knife if you have to, but wire tie or zip tie them to the object when it's in storage, you know, unless you're using it all the time. A lot of times you forget. Hey, it's like, what do I do in this case? Plugs, clean outs, whatever the case is. That kind of be a nice help. Looks like we have a full-blown manual there, and then warranty information, manual pack. And of course, register online to receive a free 8-ounce pump armor. Of course, I thought it was supposed to have pump armor, but we'll see. Maybe it doesn't. I'd like it to already be in there, but for a while, this will get used immediately. And so it wouldn't have to have the pump armor in it. And this comes, looks to be fully assembled to a certain degree. Let's see, a couple other things in here. Actually, and that is it. So this is probably the most assembled item I've ever seen. Actually, starting right off, this is the two things that weren't. They didn't have these screwed on. They probably were, and maybe, and that's your handle. It rotates right up. That puppy on there. Spin it the right way. And I apologize for the lighting in here. Of course, without my stand, I don't have my light. So this is not the easiest, great photography or videography. All right, this is a big ass zip tie. Oh. And I have the dullest knife ever. Don't cut like that in real life. Not smart. Okay, don't like the spray gun compared is not a very nice ergonomical one. This I believe was like $469, $489 roughly. Just got it off of Amazon, was one of the cheapest. Could have got it at Home Depot for just a little bit more, and they actually had it in stock. But honestly, it's like if you do some of the Amazon shopping, we got the Amazon card, and as long as you pay it off, that's the key. Pay stuff off. Debt is never good. You're never going to win if you get too much debt. So we got another 20 bucks off of the price of this by using the Amazon card, and I've already paid it off. So this is a little steeper. Hey, by the way, pump armor's in here. This was a little steeper than, obviously, if I would have bought the cheap version of Graco or gone to Harbor Freight. I was really close to biting the bullet on just a Harbor Freight one, and then decided not to. I was like, I might as well. I liked the stand. Couldn't find anything else stand-wise that was like this except for Graco that I like. If I'm going to pay that kind of money out, I'm getting the name brand because Graco is a great brand. So that's, you could probably pick up, I think Harbor Freight was like $169. So, but anyway, hey, your hose is here. They do have a bottle of pump armor. If I register for my warranty, I get another bottle of pump armor. Super, because I want to use what's going to keep this thing lasting. When you pay close to $500 for something, you kind of want to keep it. And there was also a stipulation to this, as the wife told me. If we spend this kind of money, can we get the house painted? Okay, honey, I love you. So we're going to do that. And that's kind of awesome. I've been wanting to paint the house. I have aluminum siding, don't have vinyl siding, and it's kind of a toss-up. It's like replace it because we don't like the white. It is oxidizing, but then getting to look, it was like, you know, the vinyl siding, people talk about painting it, and it's a pain in the rear end. And then you have expansion contraction issues. With the aluminum siding, I have an absolutely good chance at priming it, painting it. Not too much of a change in color, but it's probably going to be just a light gray, because you want to try to limit the amount of expansion contraction by keeping roughly the same color. So that's another reason for buying one of these is you can clean it up, you can use it for other projects, save yourself the time, the energy. So I think this is going to be very well worth it, but we will see. They have the water hose clean out because, you know, I'm using water-based, so that's really, really handy when you're in that position. Obviously, if you use oil base, you're going to have a bucket of whatever, whether it be acetone, mineral spirits, paint thinner style material in order to clean these back out. And I'll have to read instructions. Absolutely recommend reading the instructions to make sure if you're going to use that type of material, after you get it cleaned out, do you immediately put pump armor in, or do you use the water to clean it out the rest of the way? Whatever the case is, make sure you follow those directions. You want this to last you kind of your lifetime. You don't want to be messing around and screw up a $500 pump that you have to go out and buy another one for, because some of these are rebuildable. I know my buddies, it was a rebuildable style. This one doesn't look like it comes apart all that well, so it will be interesting to know, hey, how does this work and stuff. So they've got some instructions on here as well. Spray, prime, probably the recirculation, things like that. So I'm going to get to reading the instructions, figure out how we're going to use this, and then you're going to see me spray with it and stuff like that, and kind of give you my opinion on that. So you want to prime with the cleaning material for the paint you're using, according to the instructions. So mine's water-based, so obviously water, and it does say to use the mineral spirits, acetone, whatever that case is, if you're using some oil-based paints, what it requires. So you actually get it primed utilizing that. Neat part, and this would have been great on the one that I couldn't get to work, that was my buddy's. I tore it apart, and I thought the balls were, they use balls as check valves for the piston pump. This one actually has one that you hit for making sure the ball is unseated. So that was kind of a cool part. Things are also marked on this one a lot better than his. His had no instructions with it. They had no tags that were ever there in the first place from what it looked like. Obviously, those can wear out. If you have acetone in your hands and you hit a label, it can completely go away as well. So, you know, just a little bit more modern here. So this one's going to have some more idiot-proof stickers to it, which is great, because if you don't use this on a daily basis for work, you know, weekly basis, whatever your job entitles if you're a construction guy, you're going to forget this stuff. So yeah, I got to grab my other bucket. I've got a bucket of water. We'll get the priming process started. Then I've got to stir my paint, and then we're going to get the sucker going. Start. Adjust this a little bit to see where I want my flow at. I'll try to get started here. Maybe it's a little bit more flow to it. Okay. This hose is very, very stiff, so hopefully this lumbers up a little bit. Well, you guys get the idea. I have to play a little bit with my overlap. You know, you guys who've not done this before, you know, that's something you got to work with, is your trigger, because you want to off the trigger on the edges. You start again, pull the trigger. You don't just pull the trigger and then just wipe it back and forth. You saw one of mine, I held on to the trigger. This is brand new. This is not, it's not the most comfortable. I'm used to, you know, obviously it's the stupid $800 guns that the billion-dollar company I work for used. Were very nice, very ergonomic. I mean, and we had the cheaper versions that were just kind of rectangular with round edges. And honestly, it's like a lot of stuff. Harbor Freight spray guns are actually pretty darn nice. Now, the issue would be trying to pick up see if they have a nice spray gun that would be set up for this. This also has a roller, a roller setup that will pressurize a roller if you want to go that way. So you're still using a roller, but it actually pushes paint into the roller. So you never have to dip the roller, and you know, those would be kind of cool. I will probably look into one of those at some point. For right now, I'm gonna play and try to get my consistency down on how I need it. I'll kind of show you guys the finished result as well, and let you know what my thoughts are on this thing. Got everything done, but the ceiling actually ran out of paint. Graco Magnum X7, and there's quite a bit of striping. That's my painting it. It's not the machine really. It's trying to figure it out, and this is just the first primer coat. I honestly think I'm gonna have to do a couple primer coats, and before I put the final color on. But it's OSB, so it is what it is. Anyway, you guys have a good day. We'll see you later.